The Los Angeles Lakers' preferred path is a wait-and-see approach after balking at the Miami Heat's steep initial asking price for Andrew Wiggins, according to Anthony Irwin of Clutch Points. The organization's opportunistic strategy is to hold firm until the trade market softens, a move that mirrors how they landed Dorian Finney-Smith last season without giving up a first-round pick. These talks kind of broke down when Miami also pushed for a first-round pick for Wiggins, Irwin said on his Lakers Lounge podcast on September 8th. It reminds me of Brooklyn with Dorian Finney-Smith a year ago. By the regular season, the price dropped further and further until the Lakers were able to get Dorian for D'Angelo Russell's expiring contract. The Lakers acquired Finney-Smith, along with Shake Milton, at the trade deadline last season for Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round draft picks. Differences from the Finney-Smith deal. Irwin noted, however, that Wiggins' value remains higher than Finney-Smith's. Wiggins is a better player at this stage of his career than Dorian, Irwin said. So the price for him is higher than D'Angelo Russell's expiring contract and some second-round draft capital. But I do believe by December or January, let alone the trade deadline, his name will pop back up and the price will have dropped to a point where the Lakers are more comfortable. Irwin earlier reported that Miami's asking price included Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, a first-round pick, and potentially Dalton Connect, a package that stalled talks. Heat stand firm on their wing. While the Lakers hope patience will lower the cost, the Heat have shown no urgency to part with Wiggins. Miami Herald reporters Anthony Chang and Barry Jackson said the franchise intends to retain him, with Jackson writing that nothing offered so far has been enticing. Wiggins, 30, is under contract for 2 more seasons, with a $30.2 million player option in 2026 to 27. Lakers draft capital in play. Los Angeles has been cautious with its draft assets, holding 1 tradable first-round pick, 2031 or 2032, and a 2032 second-round pick. Another first-rounder will become available next offseason, giving the Lakers more flexibility. Irwin emphasized that the Lakers' best-case scenario is acquiring Wiggins without moving Hachimura and their first-round pick. Ideally, the Lakers find a way to move Maxi Kleber's contract, Gabe Vincent's contract, and Dalton Connect's contract, maybe with another minimum-type deal, Irwin said. From a basketball standpoint, that's the best outcome. You don't want to trade away your 6th best player when you're on the outside looking in at the true contenders. Stein sparks renewed buzz. Irwin's assessment followed Mark Stein's report that identified Wiggins as a target for the Lakers in the wake of Luka Doncic's long-term commitment. League sources say LA would indeed have interest in adding a two-way swingman who can raise their ceiling, Stein wrote in the Stein Line newsletter on September 8th. The sort of player who is likely to interest the Lakers? My read, if Miami were to make him available, Andrew Wiggins. Stein added that Los Angeles could move if the Heat decide to prioritize financial flexibility and trim payroll. A potential missing piece. Jovan Boha echoed Irwin's stance, arguing that Wiggins could be the kind of two-way player who would push the Lakers into the West's elite. If the Lakers were to get Andrew Wiggins, or a player of that ilk, that's the ideal complement to Marcus Smart and Rui Hachimura, Boha said on his Boha's Block podcast on September 9th. With the right move, the Lakers can vault themselves into Tier 1 and have a legit chance to win a championship. The Los Angeles Lakers' potential pursuit of Andrew Wiggins comes with a major obstacle, Miami's steep asking price, according to Anthony Irwin of Clutch Points. Irwin's report comes on the heels of longtime NBA insider Mark Stein's earlier assessment that the Lakers could have interest if the Heat shift their priorities. One story, and the one that I heard more directly, was that the Miami Heat were asking for Rui Hachimura, Irwin said on the September 8th episode of his podcast The Lakers Lounge. They were asking for a first-round pick, Gabe Vincent, and potentially Dalton Connect. The Lakers would probably be fine moving off Dalton or Vincent for Wiggins and maybe even Rui, but they definitely did not want to include Rui and the first-round pick together. That's where the talks broke down. As it currently stands, the Lakers only have very limited draft capital. 1 first-round pick, 2031 or 2032, and their 2032 second-round pick. Jovan Boha also earlier described the Heat's asking price as steep, including a first-round pick and Connect. Other reports have varied on the Lakers' level of interest. The Athletic's Dan Woik reported the Lakers were not actively pursuing Wiggins earlier this offseason, while the Miami Herald's Anthony Chang and Barry Jackson reported that Miami plans to retain Wiggins, with Jackson noting that nothing offered so far has been enticing. Stein, Lakers could revisit Wiggins if Heat seeks flexibility. Stein offered context on Los Angeles's potential interest in Wiggins, an all-star wing who was the second-best player in the Golden State Warriors championship run in 2022. "I don't think that means they'll swing a deal for just anyone between now and the February 5th trade deadline, but league sources say LA would indeed have interest in adding a two-way swingman who can raise their ceiling," Stein wrote in his The Stein Line newsletter. "The sort of player who is likely to interest the Lakers? My read, if Miami were to make him available, Andrew Wiggins. So my sense is that the Lakers would have interest if the Heat, in coming weeks or months, decide to prioritize financial flexibility and look to reduce payroll. Championship aspirations drive Lakers. A two-way wing like Wiggins fits perfectly alongside LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, and Hachimura." Boha said such a move could elevate the Lakers to the Western Conference's elite tier. "The Lakers, with the right move, can vault themselves up to the Tier 1 of NBA title teams and have a legit chance to win a championship," Boha said on the September 9th episode of his podcast. If the Lakers were to get Andrew Wiggins, or a player of that ilk, a two-way wing who can guard multiple positions, including backcourt players and wings, and take that burden off LeBron, Luka, Austin, and Rui, that's the ideal complement to Marcus Smart and Rui Hachimura. Boha added that the ideal scenario would allow the Lakers to acquire Wiggins while keeping Hachimura in a rotation, strengthening both the first and second units. Trade feasibility remains uncertain. Until Miami signals a willingness to move Wiggins without demanding excessive assets, talks are stalled. The Lakers' interest depends on whether the Heat shift focus toward financial flexibility, creating a rare opportunity to acquire a top-tier two-way wing. The Lakers continue to evaluate roster options, balancing championship ambitions with financial and positional flexibility. Adding a player like Wiggins could transform their roster, but for now, the Heat's asking price remains the key obstacle. The Los Angeles Lakers have had quite the offseason balancing the needs of Luka Doncic and LeBron James, but for the most part, it seems like they've succeeded. The Lakers are trying to have the best of both worlds, building around Doncic while also catering to James' desire to win now. LeBron wants to compete for a championship, Rich Paul told ESPN. He knows the Lakers are building for the future. He understands that, but he values a realistic chance of winning it all. "We are very appreciative of the partnership that we've had for 8 years with Jeanie, Bus, and Rob Pelinka, and consider the Lakers as a critical part of his career. Even though the Lakers want to build around Doncic, and that may take time, the superstar himself wants to win immediately." Doncic being just 26 gives the Lakers a far longer timeline to build a championship contending team, but that doesn't mean they can slow down and take their time. Doncic told Lakers president Rob Pelinka and coach JJ Redick in May that he's not interested in taking the slow approach in building a contender, CBS Sports' Jasmine Wimbish wrote. A recent trade proposal could satisfy both James and Doncic. Lakers get Andrew Wiggins from Heat, Jamie Jaquez Jr. from Heat, Drew Tim from Nets. Heat get Rui Hachimura from Lakers, Dalton Connect from Lakers. $10 million trade exception Wiggins. Nets get Maxi Kleber from Lakers, 2026 protected Brooklyn second-rounder from Heat. $4.6 million from Nets. $2 million from Lakers. Using Stein's logic that the Lakers are willing to take on a longer salary, Wiggins only has 1 year left after this coming season. If he fits well, he could opt out and re-sign on a lower but longer annual deal. Or Los Angeles could use his expiring contract in a future deal. From a basketball perspective, the 30-year-old would step in as the team's best perimeter defender. At 6 feet 7 inches, he'd fill the role left by the departure of Dorian Finney-Smith, Bleacher Report's Eric Pincus wrote. This haul would drastically change the Lakers' outlook for the upcoming season. It adds another veteran with NBA Finals experience and 2 exciting young prospects who could develop into key contributors. This trade concept would be a major win for the Lakers, especially in keeping LeBron James happy.